Welcome to Triumph IAS. It's a daily mains practice question and answer series. This program is exclusively designed for UPSC CSE aspirants. In this video discussion, we will discuss UPSC CSE mains previous 25-year questions. Question number 1. Mahatma Gandhi and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, despite having divergent approaches and strategies, had a common goal of amelioration of the downtrodden. Elucidate. Let's start with the introduction of the answer. Despite having divergent approaches and strategies, both Gandhi and Ambedkar were equally vocal for eradicating evils of social life and to reorganize society on the basis of equality and social justice. The main body of the answer should be number 1. They both had a common vision of an ideal society in which privileges will be equally shared by all sections of society, giving the downtrodden their share of benefits arising out of state. Both Gandhi and Ambedkar founded a number of organizations and led various movements to bring the oppressed and downtrodden to the mainstream society. Number 2. While Gandhi had deep faith in the Indian Varna system, Ambedkar was totally against the Varna system, and he even went further to say that Manusmriti should be burned down. Number 3. Gandhi sought the support and cooperation of the middle and upper classes to work for the upliftment of the depressed section. Ambedkar did not believe in getting support from the upper classes. He rather encouraged the oppressed communities to educate their men and fight for their just place in the society. Number 4. He set up the Harijan Sevak Sangh and spread his message through his weekly publication Harijan. He also mobilized the ground workers of Congress to work for the integration of untouchables to the mainstream. Number 5. Ambedkar demanded separate electorate from the British Empire to protect the interests of the downtrodden in the Round Table Conference. Number 6. Gandhi was against this as he thought the mechanism will further intensify the division in the society. Gandhi was in favor of decentralization of democracy to empower the village-level panchayats. Number 7. However, Ambedkar feared that village headmen assuming more power, which will further exploit the underprivileged section. Conclusion of the answer is: therefore, while Gandhi believed in constructive works at ground level to ameliorate the downtrodden, Ambedkar focused on constitutional safeguards and ensured political representation for the Dalits, untouchables. While Gandhi had an evolutionary approach, Ambedkar had revolutionary approach. Nevertheless, it can be said that despite of the inherent differences in their approaches, both have a unique place in the modern Indian thinkers. Question number 2. Did the Government of India Act 1935 lay down a federal constitution? Discuss. Let's start with the introduction of the answer. Yes, the Government of India Act 1935 provided for a federal framework for government. Government of India Act 1935 provided for an All India Federation consisting of provinces and princely states as units. It divided the subjects between the centre and units into federal list, provincial list, state list, and concurrent list. The main body of the answer should be number 1. This act introduced responsible government, which is same in our constitution also. The concept of diarchy, the type of government, which was established in the provinces by the Act of 1935, it remains same in the Constitution of India. Provinces were made autonomous in their respective subject. Outstates are autonomous too now by the authority under Constitution. Number 2. It provides a federal court. The Supreme Court of India is established under Constitution, which has the same power and functions as of federal court. Number 3. Government of India Act 1935 provided for the establishment of Federal Public Service Commission, Joint Public Service Commission, and Provincial Public Service Commission. Number 4. It introduced bicameralism, which yet to be continued in many of the state. And also Federal Railway Authority was set up to control Indian Railways. Conclusion of the answer is the Act was a milestone in the development of a responsible constitutional government in India. All these provisions were so important that these cannot be ignored, and Constitution of India adopted them, though not in whole but some of them. Thus, we can say that the Government of India Act 1935 mark a point of no return in the history of constitutional development in India. Question number 3. Though government allowed 51% FDI in multi-brand retailing, still FDI did not boost because. Let's start with the introduction of the answer. Though government allowed 51% FDI in multi-brand retailing, still FDI did not boost. Because. The main body of the answer should be number 1. Only 12 states and U.T.S have agreed to government policies, thus breaking the supply chain system. Number 2. 50% of total FDI has to be invested in back-end infrastructure. Number 3. Multi-brand trading is not allowed in e-commerce. Number 4. Minimum requirement for investment is $100 million, where 30% of the products has to be sourced from India. All these reasons did not let the FDI to pick up in India. Conclusion of the answer is India needs to reserve the barrier on e-commerce and convince all states to comply with the policy for better foreign direct investment, FDI, growth.